press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, how are you all? Hope all are you fine and safe in your home. In today's class, we are going to learn the new lesson of your class 4 English, that is Helen Keller. What is the name of your lesson? Helen Keller. This is a very inspirational story for you guys. Okay, before going to start this lesson, I want to give a brief introduction of this lady, Helen Keller. Okay, Helen Keller is an American author, political activist, and first deaf and blind girl having a bachelor degree in arts. So, she is an American author and political activist, and also she giving so many lectures, so she is called as a lecturer also, and she is the first deaf and blind lady who got bachelor degree of arts. Understood this? Okay, Helen Keller is born in 1880, okay, and June 21. So, what happened when she is born? After she is born, this is the main topic of your lesson. So, after she born, what happened to her? How did she become deaf and blind, and how she maintained this illness, and how she turned this illness as her potential. Understood this? Yes, let's get started. Open page number 81. First I will read this lesson, then I will explain it. When I am reading, please go through it. This is a very beautiful and inspirational story. You have to understand it, and you have to adopt the courage that Helen Keller has. Okay, let's get started. Helen Keller. It was the summer of 1880. A healthy baby girl was born in a small town in Alabama. Her parents loved her dearly and named her Helen Keller. But one day, the baby became ill, and day after day, her fever stayed high. Everyone in the family tried to help her to get better. But all they could say was, "There is nothing more we can do. The baby may not live." Helen lived, but she was not the same after her illness. Something is very wrong, her mother said. At last, they found out what was wrong. The child could not see or hear. The baby grew into a little girl. Her parents felt sorry for her. Helen often cried and held on to her mother. "Give the poor child what she wants," her father would say. Though Helen could not hear or see, she was a bright little girl. Some people thought Helen could not learn anything. Her mother did not agree. "Helen is very smart," she said, and added, "The problem is, how can we reach her? She is locked up inside herself." Okay? Till now, we are going to study in this class. Okay? As I told earlier, she is a handicapped. Means she is a deaf and blind. She can't see and she can't able to hear. Okay? One day what happened? In 1880, that is June 27. 1880, June 27. A baby is born named Helen Keller. Okay, let's get started. It was the summer of 1880. So, they are telling the story of Helen Keller. Helen Keller is born in summer season, and that was in 1880. Okay, in 1880 there was a summer season. A healthy baby girl was born in a small town, Alabama. So there is a town in America, there is Alabama. In that small town, a baby girl, and that baby girl is very healthy. She is born. Okay, in 1880, the town called Alabama. In that city, Helen Keller was born, and she is very healthy when she born. Her parents loved her dearly and named her Helen Keller. Yes, she was the first baby girl in their family, so her parents loved her very dearly. Dearly means what? Lovely. So they are giving a lot of love to her. They love as anything, like anything, they loved her. They dearly loved her. Okay, and named her Helen Keller. So her parents named her as Helen Keller. So what is the name of the baby? That is Helen Keller. But one day the baby became ill, and day after day her fever stayed high. One day what happened? A baby, that healthy baby called Helen Keller, got ill. She get fever, and day after day her fever stayed high. So it is not a common or ordinary fever. It's get high. Day passes day. When day passes, her illness or fever also gets high. Okay, next see. Everyone in the family tried to help her to get better, but all they could say was, there is nothing more we can do, the baby may not live. So everyone in that family helped her. They are showing her to what we call that is a big doctors. They are showing that big doctors, but there is no use, because all are saying that this what we have to do. More than this we can't do, because the baby may not live. It has very high fever, and it is gradually increasing day by day. So we can't tell anything about her. We can't just keep hope in her health. Like this, all are saying in that family, because she is very highly ill. Understood this? Okay, I will tell you again. It was the summer of 1880. A healthy baby girl was born in a small town of Alabama. Her parents loved her dearly and named her Helen Keller. But one day the baby became ill, and day after day her fever stayed high. Everyone in the family tried to help her to get better, but all they could say was, there is nothing more we can do. The baby may not live. So in the summer season of 1880, in the nation America, a small town called Alabama. In that town, a baby girl on June 27 was born, and that baby girl is very healthy when it is born. Day passes, her parents loved her. Her parents show a very great love to her, and also they named her as Helen Keller. They show a very great love, and they were very concerned about her. But day passes, what happened? One day she became ill, and that fever getting high after that day. And all of her family members are trying to help that baby to recover from that illness. But no use, they are telling that We can't do anything now. The baby might not be live. Understood this? ಓಕೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. 1880ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲಬಾಮಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಟೌನ್, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಬೇಬಿ ಗರ್ಲ್, ಆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಾಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಯುತವಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಲವಲವಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಗು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಮಗು ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವಳ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅವಳನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ತುಂಬ ಕಾಳಜಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಡೀ ಮನೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಕಳೆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೈ ಫೀವರ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಭಾಳ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಗುಗೆ. ಆ ಜ್ವರ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಎರಡು ದಿನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ವಾರಗಳ ಗಂಟ್ಲೆ, ತಿಂಗಳ ಗಂಟ್ಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೈ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಿನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೊರತು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವಳ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್, ಆ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಕೂಡ ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಗುಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸೋಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಮಗು ಇನ್ನು ಬದುಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವಳ ಕುಟುಂಬಸ್ಥರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ನ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾ. ಹೆಲೆನ್ lived, but she was not the same after her illness. Something is very wrong, her mother said. At last they found out what was wrong. The child could not see or hear. Okay, Helen lived. After that fever, she recovered. Helen lived, but she was not same after her illness. Before that illness, she is very bright. She is very very funniest, fun-loving baby girl that was. But after illness, after that Helen Keller illness, she become very inactive, and she was not the same after illness. So she was not same. Something is very wrong, her mother said. So something is happening to her. We don't know what about that. Something is very bad. And so it is said by what? Yes, Helen Keller's mother. At last they found out what was wrong. The child couldn't see and hear. At last they found out. They found out that what is wrong with that baby girl. That is what? That baby girl, Helen Keller, could not able to see and hear. Understood this? Okay, I will tell you again. Helen Keller was a girl who is born in the summer season of 1880. One day she got fever, and that fever is very high. Everyone says that this baby might not be live. But after all this, she recovered from that fever. She lived, but something is wrong with that baby. Her mother tells that something is happening to my baby. Then they found out that that baby didn't see and didn't hear. It became deaf and blind. Understood this? Okay, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಜ್ವರ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಮನೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಮಗು ಬದುಕುಳಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಆದರೆ ಮಿರಾಕಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ನಡೆದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಗು ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಜ್ವರದಿಂದ ಅದು ರಿಕವರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬದುಕುಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಆ ಮಗು ಮೊದಲಿನ ಥರ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಜ್ವರ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಲವಲವಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಖುಷಿಯಿಂದ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರಿಕವರಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗುಗೆ ಏನೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಏನೋ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿದೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗು ಹತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರಮ್ಮಂಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿತಾರೆ ಆ ತಪ್ಪು ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಮಗುಗೆ ಈಗ ಏನು ಡಿಸೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಗು ಏನಿತ್ತು, ಆ ಮಗುಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಶಿ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಡೆಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಶಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? Yes, let's see what's happened. The baby grew into a little girl. Her parents felt sorry for her. Helen often cried and held on to her mother. Give the poor child what she wants, her father would say. So after knowing the fact that baby is blind and deaf now, the baby grew into a little girl. So this is all tolerated by her parents, and that baby doesn't know anything. It is very innocent. Babies are all innocent, right? So it is very innocent at that age. Day passes, that baby is grow into a little girl. She become a little girl. Her parents feel sorry for her. They can't do anything for her because anything can't help her to recover from that blindness and deafness. So they feel sorry for her. They become very apologizing. Helen often cried and held on to her mother. Give the poor child what she wants, her father would say. So knowing the fact that I am not able to see or I am not able to hear, the little girl is very unhappy. She cried a lot. Yes, it happens, right? When we know that we can't do anything because we are blind and deaf now, we are shocked. We can't do anything about it. Just we can cry for it. So Helen Keller also cried a lot and held on to her mother. So she held it to her mother, and her father tells that give the poor child what she wants. So you have to give what she wants. Whatever she can ask, you have to give to her mother. Understood this? Helen Keller, that baby is grown into a little girl. When she knows about that fact that she can't able to see and she can't able to hear, she was cried a lot, and her parents feel very sorry for her because they can't do anything about it. They simply have to witness for it. And the father of Helen Keller tells that give the poor child what she wants. Whatever she can ask, you have to give. Because my child is my everything, you have to give. Like this, her father said to her mother. Understood this? Okay, third ಪ್ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಗುಗೆ ಏನು ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಮಗು ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಹುಡುಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆದ್ಲು. ವರ್ಷಗಳು ದಿನಗಳು ಕಳೆದ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವಳು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ಲು, ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹುಡುಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಹುಡುಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಥರನೂ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಥರನೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನೀಗ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೇಬಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಅಂಗವಿಕಲೆ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಥರ ನೀನು ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ದುಃಖ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಹತ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಹೌದಲ್ವ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ? ಇದು ತುಂಬ ನಮಗೆ ಶಾಕಿಂಗ್. ಈಗ ಸಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂತು, ಆ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ತಾನೇ ಶಾಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ತಾನೇ ದುಃಖ ಆಗಲ್ಲ? ಎಲ್ಲರ ಥರ ನಾವು ಇರೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಥರ ಪ್ರಪಂಚವನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಥರ ಸಂಗೀತವನ್ನು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೋವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗೆ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾಳೆ ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಲಕ್ಕನ್ನು, ತನ್ನ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು. ಅವಳ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಾರಿ ಫೀಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಬರೀ ನೋಡೋದಷ್ಟೇ. ಅವಳು ಡೆಫ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ನಾವು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವಳನ್ನ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವ್ರು ತುಂಬ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಸಾರಿ ಫೀಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅವರಪ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ತಂದೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗು ತುಂಬ ಪೂರ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್, ತುಂಬ ಪಾಪದ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಅವಳು, ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡು, ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾಳು, ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವಳ ಮದರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Next, what is the fourth para? Though Helen could not hear or see, she was a bright little girl. Some people thought Helen could not learn anything. Her mother did not agree. Helen is very smart, she said, and added, the problem is, how can we reach her? She is locked up inside herself. Okay? So, yes, after that, all this, though Helen could not see, hear and see, she was very bright little girl. So, even though she is blind and deaf, but then also she is very bright girl. She is very bright girl, she is a very active girl, she can participate all the things, but the only problem is her defects. Some people thought Helen could not learn anything. So, there are so many people around us, they are telling only about our illness. They are highlighting my weakness. Sorry, they are highlighting our weakness, right? Like this, some people also tell about her that she can't do anything, she can't learn anything because she is deaf and blind. How can she manage that? How can she become a good girl? Means an educated girl, how can she become? Like this, all people around her, some people around her are telling. But Helen Keller's mother was very strong. She didn't agree it. Why? Why are you telling like this? My daughter is very bright. She can do anything. But the problem is, how can we reach her? How can we help her to become a very brilliant girl? How can we do that? Like that, her mother is thinking. Then she locked up herself. Then she what do she? She locked herself. Understood the fourth para? I'll tell you. Helen now can't able to see and can't hear, right? Even though she is very bright girl, she is very active in her house. But some people say that she can't do anything. Helen Keller is deaf and blind now. She can't do anything. Okay? But that mother of Helen Keller didn't agree. She is telling that my daughter can do anything. My daughter is very bright and brilliant. She is matured. She can understand everything. But the only problem is, how can we reach her? How can we help her? Like that. Like that she is thinking and she is locked her in herself. Understood this? Okay, fourth ಪ್ಯಾರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕುರುಡಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ, ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳದೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವಳು ತುಂಬ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾಳೆ. ತುಂಬ ಲವಲವಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಓಡಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾಳೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರು ಜನ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲೂ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟದಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡೋರು, ಅದೇ ಥರ ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬ ಜನ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದೆ ಅವಳೇನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ವೇಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮನೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಗರ್ಲ್. ತನ್ನ ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಆ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವಳು ತನ್ನ ಮಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಅವಳು ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ತುಂಬ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಗರ್ಲ್, ಅವಳು ತುಂಬ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಗರ್ಲ್, ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಗರ್ಲ್, ತುಂಬ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತೆ ಕೂಡ, ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂಡ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಅವಳು ತಾನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದನ್ನ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನು, ತೊಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ರೀಚ್ ಹರ್? ಲೈಕ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಅವಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಏನು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಲಾಕ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಹರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೆಲೆನ್ ಕೆಲ್ಲರ್ ತಾಯಿ ಆ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾಳೆ, ತನ್ನ ಮಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇದು? ಎಸ್. ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದಿಸ್ 4 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸ್. In the next class we will continue this lesson. Okay, thank you.